Well, I had just been handed this severance agreement, which I looked at and my jaw kind of dropped. Next step was I called an attorney who immediately referred me to Dave without hesitation. Dave put me right at ease. I had a lot of confidence in him from the beginning, and he sort of told me what was going to happen, what could happen, and what would happen, and that eventually turned out to be what did happen. I knew that Dave would handle my case in a professional manner without antagonizing my former employer. I didn't want to get involved in any sort of long, protracted legal battle. I just wanted to get what I thought was a fair settlement and then move on, and that was important to me, and I think Dave was the perfect guy for that. Some people might question whether it's worth the investment to hire an attorney, but I was fairly comfortable that the investment that I made in Dave was going to pay off for me, and it did, in spades.
I was pushed out of my company despite exemplary performance reviews, so that was a big shock to me. It was important to me that Conforto Law Group specialized in employment matters. Having been in the HR field for more than 20 years, I knew what I was dealing with, and I knew I needed a specialist in that area. When I first met David, he was very reassuring, and I felt like I was the only client he had. I was kept informed along the way. I was asked for my input, and that was very important to me. I could tell that there was compassion for what I had experienced. David and I did a lot of preliminary research in preparing for our position, which contributed to the swift resolution. They knew that we were prepared to take this on. He gave me peace of mind because I knew he was there for me. I knew he was on my side. I was very, very satisfied. I had a new job. We had resolved the case to my satisfaction, and all was well.
It was a very stressful situation. I had been with my previous company for 10 years, and things unraveled rather quickly, and I became aware of a need to confront an existing non-compete agreement. Fortunately, David was extremely a nice combination of both being relaxed and professional, and I felt in very good hands. Clock was ticking on my non-compete. There was only 6 months left, and David made the very practical suggestion that we not try to go before a judge, and instead work with the company and work things out. He would have made a lot more money if we'd litigated, and I really appreciate his restraint and good advice. It was very reassuring to me that David was a specialist in employment law, and it was also a comfort that he only represented employees, because that meant that his interests were always aligned with people like me. He was the first and last firm I looked at, and as a result of his advice in related matters, my transition to a new life was seamless and very rewarding, and I really owe a lot to David for his help.
I came to Conforto Law Group with a discrimination claim. It was a matter that I felt very passionate about. It was a wrong that needed to be righted. David was able to give me peace of mind through his knowledge of law, through his expert explanation of the law, and in terms that I could understand. I felt very comfortable all through the process with him in understanding what was going on, why, and what were the outcomes that we should expect. David advised that I not take their final offer, and I'm glad I trusted him, because at the end of the process we ended up with a much larger settlement. I really enjoyed working with David. He's easy to work with. I appreciate his ability to explain things in terms that I can understand. He was always very responsive to my questions, and no matter what kind of question I asked, I would certainly recommend David for anyone facing an employment law issue. No question.
With Dave's experience, he was able to point out things in the agreements that I would have never thought of. although I have 20 years experience in senior management positions in technology, there were subtleties in the contract that I didn't fully understand. And these are things that Dave was able to walk me through based upon his experience and really educate me about what I should be aware of. These situations can often be very stressful. We're dealing with issues that are very personal and important to an individual. And knowing that Dave had been through these experiences before and helped others helped lower my stress level. A key attribute to me in selecting Conforto Law Group is the fact that they specialize in employment law, and more importantly, they specialize in working with employees exclusively. I felt like I received personalized attention. For example, when I'd called the firm, I immediately got to Dave. I didn't have to go through an associate. I was very satisfied with the end result. It ended up in a set of agreements that were fair and equitable from both my side and also the employer's side, which was important to me. I absolutely would refer anybody who had asked and have certainly done so in the past.